with her. And she called me this morning and said she was gonna sign with us. So she said she was gonna try to come to next Friday's meeting
Okay.
to meet everybody.
I'm excited
Mhm.
because I want to learn all aspects of
Yeah.
real estate. I'm so excited. But I will say, I'm not gonna, I got a lot going on right now.
Mhm.
Once this girl gets into her job, moved it, mama can breathe.
When's she supposed to move?
In August 14th is the move in. I totally forgot to order her a banner.
For graduation?
We had, yeah, because I had to go out of town on an emergency last week. So I've really been trying to catch up on my sleep because I went there, turned back around, came right back in 2 days, totally exhausted, didn't realize how exhausted I was. And we pull up now. Me and my sisters. I'm gonna turn my phone.
Yes. Turn yours on and yours off. Let me figure out. Get one up on. Okay, here we go. No, that's not it. Okay, y'all see my inspection report?
Yes.
Okay, so today I thought we would talk about inspection reports because you probably never seen one, have you?
No.
And I think,
Yeah.
okay.
When I bought my house.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. But as far as negotiating an inspection report, with for your buyer, you probably haven't done that, correct?
Mm-mm.
And I figured Kristen and Tim probably may or may not have. So, this is an inspection report, and they're all going to look a little different. Whatever inspector, they pretty much have their own software, and so they're all going to look a little bit different, but they're similar. So, um, and one thing I noticed about Bragg's is I can't download it as a PDF. Do you know how to do that?
Isn't it report tools on the top right?
Yeah, it's where you can create a list, but I don't think it'll download as a PDF. Copy and paste text and do the repair request builder. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, some of them will let you do more things than others. Like for instance, on this one, he's got a repair request builder right here to the right. And if you click on it, you can kind of go through each of the things that are wrong, check them. You can assign a price to them, like what it might cost to fix that. So if you wanted to say, ask for a price reduction in lieu of them making repairs, you can kind of assign a price to each of those things, that can be estimates or, if you know somebody that can give you numbers or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
So, for instance, on this one, has all kinds of issues and they're canceling the contract, but we won't get into my disappointment about that. But exactly.
But was that when you had like 3?
Yes, this was one of the ones I got under contract that weekend. So, but
It's okay.
it is what it is. We're gonna
Yes.
find the right house. It's not the right one for them. And as I told my clients, they keep apologizing, and I'm like, stop apologizing. I want you to find the one that you're comfortable with.
That's
If
right.
you're not comfortable with this one, we're gonna cancel it
Exactly.
because they paid for a septic inspection too, and a septic inspection requires them to pump the septic tank. So these sellers got a free septic tank pumping,
Wow.
but it is what it is. My clients are not comfortable, so we're going to terminate.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of issues going on with this house. Basically, every major system has got a problem. And we were going to address the roof, the heat and air, the plumbing.
The major.
But then they're like, but all the windows are bad.
Oh wow.
The appliances are old. All the floors need to be redone. There's holes in the walls. There's some water in the basement. All this is still a lot.
Yes, it is.
So we are not going to move forward because we're just nervous about that. We don't want all this, to have to deal with all this. So we're
To be
terminating.
honest, I don't blame
No, I don't either. And that's why I'm like, stop apologizing to me. You don't have to
Exactly.
apologize to me. But they
That's
feel
the
bad.
whole point of inspection.
Exactly.
Before you purchase.
Exactly. So if you look, most inspectors are going to break things down, and they're again, every report is going to look a little different. I don't know what that was. I think your
Oh, that
bag
was
just
my bag.
flipped over. So most of the time, they're going to break things down into things that are a big deal, and they'll label it something or another. Minor issues, major issues, safety issues. That's
Mhm.
typically kind of, they may use different verbiage, but they're basically going to be doing the same kind of stuff,
Gotcha.
So if you'll look on Jeff's inspection here, he's kind of got them color coded. He's got these orange ones, and then there should be some red ones here. There we go. See the red ones?
Okay. Mhm.
So that's more of a safety issue,
Mhm.
and so it'll kind of stand out to you. So he's got minor issues, and then he's got major issues, red and orange. So
Mhm.
as we go through this thing, you can kind of see. Now, the way his is set up, if there's certain things you want to address, you hit the check mark,
Mhm.
and then you can add a dollar amount, or you can make a comment.
Okay.
All right. Now, whenever you go through an inspection report with a client, you're going to want to do the amendment to address concerns, which is during your due diligence, you know that you can do whatever inspections that you want to have done. And that amendment to address concerns is what you get over to them before that inspection deadline is over, that due diligence period is over. And in that amendment, it'll give you the option. Like, for instance, say you've got 10 days and you've already got your inspection after 5. You can leave the rest of the due diligence in force in case there's anything else you want to check out. And or you could end the due diligence right away. If you're done doing everything you want to do, there's a box you can check due diligence is expired, or I can't remember the exact verbiage, but basically it ends the due diligence right then.
Okay.
Now, typically, we're not going to want to send over our amendment to address concerns until we've checked out everything that we want to check out, because ideally you're going to want to negotiate it all at once.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we had a septic inspection done that was done one day, and this house inspection was done the next day.
Mhm.
Now, if I would still say I was waiting on a termite inspection, I probably wouldn't do my amendment until I got that back too.
Mhm.
So I would wait to get everything done that I plan to get done so I can address all the problems at once.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to go back and negotiate these deals and then go back and do it again. Let's just do it all at once.
Exactly.
So, say for instance, my client, we're looking right here at a refrigerator line that's missing and got broken insulation. So what I usually do is I will copy the information that the inspector put there, and I will paste that in my amendment so that I've got the description of what the problem is, and then I'll also attach. I won't necessarily attach the whole inspection, especially this one since I couldn't download a PDF. But I can do a repair list by checking those off, and you print one sheet that's got all the problems listed here.
Oh,
And I will
okay.
attach that to it so they
Gotcha.
can reference the attached repair list.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that way they can go back and look at the inspection, they can see the picture, and they can see exactly what the problem is, where it's at, that kind of thing.
Mm.
So, and also when I do the amendment, not only am I going to describe the problem, I'm going to say what I want them to do about the problem. Do I want them to fix it? Do I want them to replace it? When do they have to fix it or replace it? Do I want it done before closing? Do I want it 10 days before closing? When do I want it done? And ideally, you're going to want it done sometime before closing because you don't want to get to closing and something not be done. You want to give
Right.
yourself a little time.
So we could do it.
So we could, right, we want,
before.
before it happens, you're gonna wanna go look and make sure those things are done.
Okay.
Something else that I do is I wanna make sure it's a licensed contractor that does it. I
Yeah.
want a plumber to do it, or I want a heating and air person to do it.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna put that in my amendment. Because if you just say, replace this, the homeowner could go do it themselves. Now,
Mm.
yeah, now
You run the risk.
you run the risk because you don't know what you're gonna get. But the more specific you are in that amendment, the more protected your client's gonna be.
Good.
So, problem, time frame, who's gonna do it? Also, I'll say, and I want a copy of the receipt. So I know who did it and I know what was done, So that we want to make sure that we address all those things within our amendment so that there's no question. I want you to replace this by a licensed contractor 10 days prior to closing and and provide a receipt thereof. So that's you want to keep that kind of thing in mind. Also, another option is say your buyer doesn't want them to make repairs, they just want the price adjusted.
Mhm.
So in that situation, I would still list the problems. I would say, this, and this, and this, and then in lieu of repairs, buyer request price reduction of however much.
Agree.
And then, whether they would agree or not agree.
Okay.
So that's the way I would handle that situation.
Okay.
So the biggest thing is be sure you're clear about exactly what you want done, how you want done, who you want to do it.
Gotcha.
Because you will find that becomes an issue of nitpicking.
Mhm.
Oh, well, you didn't say it had to be a licensed contractor, or you didn't say we had to have it done by this time. I mean, that was part of the problem we
That's
had.
that gray area.
It's a gray area, and we want to eliminate gray areas.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem that Obi had with one of her clients not too long ago.
I don't know what actually
Yes,
happened.
there was some gray areas there, which she wasn't necessarily wrong,
Right.
but there was room for speculation or doing what they wanted to do. And if we eliminate that in the beginning, there's no question. That's the way we want it done.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And you know what? That shows our clients that we are so care for them and professional.
Exactly.
We know the business.
And I have had clients say to me, wow, I like that professional verbiage that you added to that. That was really good.
That when I purchased my home.
Yes, yes.
I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in.
And that really is doing your clients the best service.
Yes.
We are protecting them throughout the entire process, even as far down as a refrigerant line. We have protected them every way that we can.
And everybody's not doing it. That shows our clients that this is why you hire a realtor
Right.
or a real estate agent.
Because we're thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
What ifs?
Yeah.
If you think, as women, we always do the what ifs.
Mhm.
So as a real estate agent, you really need to do the what ifs. What if they misunderstand this or misunderstand that? Let's be clear and concise.
Yeah.
So I'm going to address the problem. I'm going to address the timeline. I'm going to address, I want a receipt. I'm going to address who's going to do it. So that eliminates questions, confusion, and deceit.
Yeah. Love it.
So
I'm so glad you gave me that jewel.
Mhm.
That's a jewel.
right, and it'll help you, and your clients will be impressed.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll look at that and be like, "Wow, she's really covered all the bases there." So that's certainly something. Did you have anything that you wanted to add on that, or you feel good about that, or?
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'm kind of listening and helping Kristen.
Okay. So, also in the amendment to address concerns, we could, ask for other things like, say they want to add a termite letter and we didn't have the inspection, we could ask them. And in the amendment to address concerns, we could just about renegotiate the whole contract if we want to, because it's either
They give you leverage, more leverage.
well, that's during the due diligence. Your client can walk away without any reason.
Okay.
So during the due diligence, if there's anything, I'm sorry, this is my daughter.
It's okay.
Hey, let daddy know because I'm in a meeting. I was in a meeting and I didn't finish typing. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm being recorded, so let me go. Bye. She took my grandson to the doctor and we were supposed to take our granddaughter to the dentist, so now she's coming back. I'm like, tell your daddy, because I'm busy. All right. So yeah, but you can actually renegotiate all the terms if you need to. Like for instance, on this one, initially, because there was so much stuff, they're like, well, let's just ask for a $30,000 price reduction. And then they're like, wait a minute, let's not do that because then we got to come out of pocket for all these repairs. So, you know, the regular buyer doesn't have a pocket full of money. They've got their down payment and or they probably got their part of whatever their closing cost is that we can't get the seller to pay.
And then they waiting on that first payment to
Yes,
get that mortgage.
exactly. So yeah, it sounds great and good.
Yeah.
And we got to think about this too, because we got to remind our clients sometimes because they don't realize it. Yes, we can ask for a price reduction, but that's not going to get anything fixed.
Right away, not
And-
move in right
And
away.
how are you going to pay for that later? How are you going to pay for a new roof, a new heat and air system, a new water heater, when all of your money's going to down payment and closing costs? So then they have to think about, oh, yeah, you're right. So let's ask for them to do this or that. Now, another thing which is a suggestion, that, you know, depending upon what the situation is, this particular house had some roof issues. Basically, the disclosure said the roof was 10 years old. The inspector said, yeah, I don't think so.
Wow.
I think it's older than that. But he also told me that there was a lot of wind damage on the roof. So I just made a note on my amendment about the roof, seller to replace roof. But I also let them know this may be covered by insurance because of wind damage, just to make them check, you know, because insurance will cover that.
Yeah.
I have had people replace their roofs for a closing. Matter of fact, my daughter did when she sold her house. She had to put a new roof on it, but her insurance paid for it. Because if there's hail damage, wind damage, that, you know, if they don't do all of it, they may do some of it.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
I just kind of put that bug in the ear of the other agent and the seller. Look, your insurance may cover this,
Right.
which would give them an incentive to maybe accept our amendment and check with their insurance company, because it's not no skin off their back if the insurance will pay for it.
And pay that,
Exactly.
whatever.
And-
deductible.
Exactly. And something else to note, now that we have had an inspection done on this house, the seller now knows my roof is bad, my heating and air is bad, my water heater is bad. And sometimes the agent will say, don't send me that inspection report, I don't want to see it. They don't want to know, because they don't want to know. But whatever I put on my amendment, they know.
So they will.
They
say-
got to disclose it to somebody next. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
legally, they know they got problems with those things now. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Which, number one, gives you a little more leverage because you already know, and they're like, we need to work this deal out because they already know. But the next buyer, legally, whether they do it or not, legally, they're supposed to disclose that now. Whether they do it or not, you know, that's where you kind of get into the gray area where they're like, I didn't see that. I don't know that. You know, you don't never know how agents act.
We're so shady.
They are shady. They really are. So, yeah, and they will say that. They'll be like, don't send me that report. I don't want to see it. But the cool thing about this is I created that repair list. They at least got to disclose that repair list that I created because they've seen that.
And that's in the contract.
It's in the country.
Can't get around that one.
Exactly.
Unethically do.
They do, but you know, legally they know it. And if somebody were to find out, let's say that
yeah.
my client's friend was like, hey, I like that house, I might move forward with it. But they didn't disclose to him that the roof had wind damage and the hot water heater didn't work, then he would have to sue because he knows my friend had an inspection, but they didn't tell me that stuff, you know. So.
Except after they find out.
I mean, because people do talk and people
yes,
do find out. I mean, it could very well happen. And if you were on the opposite side, you need to be aware of that.
Yeah.
If you've seen something in an inspection or an amendment to address concerns, then that becomes part of your disclosure. Disclose. That keeps
Yeah.
you out of hot water.
Exactly.
So, and I would tell my sellers that, look, we know the roof's got issues. Going forward, we got to tell people that. So either let's go ahead and get it fixed now.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna have to tell our next one, we're gonna have to fix our disclosure because we now know there's a problem there.
I like that because it goes both ways. So me being this the selling agent, I have to disclose. I have to let my seller know.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta tell. We gotta.
We gotta disclose it now because we now know. There is no, I don't know, because we now know that it's been looked at. Or
instead of saying I don't want to see it. No.
right. Yeah, it's true. I mean, especially, I mean, they can say they don't want to see the report, but
I
they
can understand.
but they know about the ones that we listed.
That amendment.
Yes,
Yeah,
that amendment and the ones we attached, they know about that. Now, if the seller says, I don't believe that about my roof, they could always go get somebody else to look at it.
Second opinion.
And then, they could say, well, I had somebody look at it and that's not the case. That's still an option for them. And then, they wouldn't have to disclose, or they could disclose what their roofer said,
Okay.
but, that is an option. But at the same time, that's something to keep in mind. If you're made aware of a problem, it then has to be disclosed.
Yeah.
Which gives your buyer just a little bit more leverage because, they don't have to deal with the whole new telling somebody new that up front,
Right.
so.
Right. And then, of course, at that point, when you start telling it in the beginning, your price is going to decrease.
You got to, right. Either you're going to fix it or you're going to adjust the price to compensate for it. So that's something that, your seller has to take into consideration. If it were my house, I would go ahead and call my insurance or a roofer and start try to get it done. If my heat and air system was not working properly, I'd go ahead and get it serviced. But they don't always have the money to do those things. So you just kind of have to, we might need to look at our price then and disclose that stuff. So what's our time looking like? Can you tell?
That's what I was just gonna check. Let me see what time.
Because it will cut us off in 40 minutes.
Well, I haven't gotten the warning that we have now.
Okay.
So it don't give us a time.
Yeah, well, because it's a free Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and two, when I'm dealing with my clients, I don't usually go to an inspection with them. I mean, sometimes I will, but most of the time I don't because it's hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes my clients will show up the last 30 minutes to an hour to let the inspector point out some significant issues. I may or may not go depending upon what I'm doing. You don't have to be there. But I always do have the inspector send me a copy or my client forward it to me so that we can go over everything line by line. And I might at that time talk about things like, for instance, if you look right here, deck paint recommended. That's not a big deal.
Right.
I mean, that's nothing. That's a preference. I mean, ideally, you want to seal a deck to make it last longer, but that's not really an
That's
issue.
not going to hurt the deal.
So we would go through each thing and talk about whether it was a big deal or not, or, if that's a big expense, or is that something that they even are concerned about. My client may be an electrician, so anything in the electrical, he might not care about. That's no big deal. I can take care of that. So, that's you have to kind of fill out your client, what their concerns are, what their expertise is, what they are comfortable with. Like for instance, there's a lot of rot around the foundation of this house because it's like wood siding. And my buyer, we saw this initially. You see this first one right here. Here it is. My buyer initially, he's like, that's no big deal. I can replace those pieces of wood, So that's stuff that we saw initially. We already knew about that before the inspection. So these things, we knew were going to come up, and he already is like, that's not a big deal. I'll replace the wood. So, those things we could skip over, but those things in totality with everything else is a lot bigger project than they were anticipating. Therefore, it ended up being, biting off more than they wanted to chew. So let me just check some things so you can see this report that I was telling you about. And I could make comments if I wanted to add my own comments, or if I wanted to add money here, I can do that. Let's just say $200.
So on this particular one, okay, so when you do the comment, is that going to go to the inspector?
No. No,
Oh.
this is just for your
For you.
reference,
Oh,
just for
okay.
your reference.
I got you.
So, let's see, add repair requested. Here we go. All right. And let me create that. I checked 3 things. I made notes on one. Here's my repair request list. So it just only put the things that I checked on this list.
Uh-huh.
And then, let's see, here's the one. $200 credit repair requested.
Mhm.
So if I wanted to ask for money, I might fill that in. If I just want the repair requested, I do that. But all of this has to go on your amendment because
Gotcha.
the amendment is the most important thing.
Mhm.
Really, this report, this one page, which is what I said I would attach to it,
Mhm.
just lets them know where it is, what it looks
What it
like.
looks like.
Yeah. And so they know, because I have had inspection reports and have actually had the pictures walking through houses trying to figure out what the inspector was talking about,
Mhm.
where is this? Because like for instance, when I sell property, I usually fix everything because I'm doing a flip normally.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and my goal usually, it's kind of a game my husband and I play, beat the inspector. We want to not have anything.
Right.
There's
right.
no way to do it, but it's like a thing
They're
that
gonna
we do.
find
They're gonna
something
find
else.
something.
But that makes it better. though,
Yes,
for you all.
but yeah, but that's kind of like it's just fun for us to beat the
Mhm.
inspector,
Okay.
try to figure out a way to not have a list.
Right.
So when we do get a list, because we always do, that's their job, we will take it and fix everything on it. Not every homeowner is going to do that,
Right.
but when we flip a property, we want to be as new as we can get it possibly.
That's good.
So I will take that and I'll walk around and I'll be like, okay, where is this?
Mm.
And I can use these pictures to kind of navigate and figure out exactly where the problem is. Oh, okay, I see what he's talking about. And in some cases, I may have to reach out to the inspector, and you may for your client too. We don't really understand what this is, and let them explain it to you further.
Gotcha.
Now, while Jeff, he's one of our preferred vendors, and I really like him.
Correct.
Yeah,
I like him.
I do
like his
too.
Inspection.
Yeah.
It's very well put
And
together.
he called me while he was there.
Organized.
He called
Okay.
me while he was there, and we were talking about some things. Like for instance, we were talking about the roof, and I said, "Well, the disclosure said that the roof is only 10 years old." He said, "I called a roofer because he would call people to reference." He said, "I called a roofer guy that I talked to and asked him about the kind of vents that they used on this roof, and he said that would be older than 10 years old." I said, "Oh, okay." So there
he verified.
he verified it with another professional about what they would have used 10 years ago.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so
So
they
he's thorough.
yeah,
And he's our vendor.
he
Okay,
is, and
good.
I really like him.
Yeah.
So and he did the same thing with the water heater, because he was having trouble with the water heater and he called a plumber
Mhm.
while he was there,
Uh-huh.
So he's not just one of those, and I'm not blowing up his skirt or nothing, or giving him props for any special reason, because there are a lot of good ones out there.
Mhm.
This is just the most recent one I've dealt with. But he was very thorough in that if he had a problem figuring out something, he called a professional to ask about it,
Yes.
so that he could reference it in his report. So
That's good.
Legacy that's rented from us upstairs,
Mhm.
they also do home inspections. And they are ASHA certified as well and use that same kind of report.
okay.
So I had them
Okay.
do one for me, up in Gainesville,
Okay.
and they did a great job with the inspection too. The report looked really nice and, they were real thorough. So that's a second option if if Jeff's not available and you need somebody else, that's who I would go to.
Yes.
Yeah, because that happens too when the market heats up.
Oh, I know.
And we only got, say you got a short due diligence and he's booked up,
Okay.
you might have to find somebody.
And that's exactly what had happened. Jeff wasn't available.
Mm-hmm.
You need more than one.
yeah.
Yeah, you have
of
to.
Everybody.
Of everybody. You have
know,
to. Yeah.
That you're gonna outsource to.
Exactly. And just
So-
because we got somebody as a preferred vendor, that's just people that we know and we've worked with.
Well, I'm looking at this and I know what in home inspections look like from based off of my own personal home
Mhm.
inspections I've received. And this by far is so clear
More
cut,
more thorough.
understandable,
Mhm.
and it's organized. And I like the fact that you can come in, you can ask the price,
Mhm.
and it goes
And just create the report of just the things that you
Yeah.
want to deal with. Yeah. Mhm.
This is nice. It's very put together. It's very professional.
Okay, we're about to run out of time,
Okay.
so I'm gonna wrap it up. Did you have any other questions
No.
about that? I just thought that, because I was dealing with this yesterday, I just kind of ding, 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 this would be something good to
Thank
talk
you.
about.
Thank you.
Because it's something that's gonna come up. I mean,
It
you have
is.
inspections all the time when you start getting contracts, and it's something that you need to know how to handle. And the verbiage is very important
Yeah.
because that's gonna determine if you're gonna have problems later. If you deal with everything up front, then there's no questions later,
Exactly. I love it. I thank you.
You're very welcome.
Wow, the jewels, yes. Keep them coming. Because I may not be using them now, but I know that I'm going to use it. And if I forget, I can always go back and to refer to it.
You can
Because
watch
we
this
had a
video or you can call us on the phone.
Yeah.
Either way,
Thank you.
also, something worth noting in transaction desk in Georgia MLS,
Mhm.
it will also has, it's got a verbiage that you can tap into there where it'll give you like, suggestions of how to word things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this is in the transaction.
And
When you're in special steps.
Oh, special steps.
Yeah.
it's not, you can also do it for other forms too, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, but anything that you're gonna have a type and block in.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a little, there's some choices at the top
Okay.
of there, and it will allow you to, I'll pull it up. And
Yeah.
our video might go off, but this will just
Okay.
be, going to, transaction desk. And let's just say we, log in.
We log in.
Now go to transaction.
And now I'm gonna go to transaction desk again.
That's so aggravating.
All right.
We are going to go to transaction desk.
Well,
always,
I
and
mean,
then add to Bolt Trail
you can,
for the forms.
but the forms are in Bold Trail too.
Okay. Okay.
But I did notice that Bold Trail does not have this feature.
Right.
So, this is if you had some verbiage issues, you
you
could
were
go look.
struggling.
If you were struggling on how do I do this, you could go.
Gotcha.
So if I'm going to just pull up a form,
Mhm.
Just put that in minutes or something.
I was just going to hit purchase and sale
Right.
agreement. Okay, let me scroll down to special steps. All right, here's my special steps. All right, here, see this clause button at the top?
Yeah. And there's
You
one
click
right
on
here.
that. And you can, let's say,
Well, you're in personal clauses,
Uh-huh.
so that's. Oh, okay.
yeah, it's in all of them. I mean, there's different
So
categories.
Personal ones come from the office ones.
Right,
You can
right.
add to it.
So see some of these things. So
Mhm.
I typed in repair and I got these. So let's say I do that one. All right.
Okay.
Seller wants that all appliances remaining with the property, and it kind of just gives you some good verbiage there.
Gotcha.
I mean, you could still add to that or take
Or
away,
take away.
but it just gives you something to work
To
with.
start with,
To start
yeah,
with.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something
I
if
didn't know that.
you're kind of stuck and you're like, I don't really know what to put. I mean, ideally we're going to do everything in Bold Trail, but if you get stuck on something and you're like, I wonder, go into transaction desk and see, type in just a one or two words about what you're trying to address
Mhm.
and then see what pops up.
And you can just copy it after you put it in your.
Copy and paste it.
Just copy it and go over and paste
To
it in
Bold
your
Trail.
Bold Trail. Since you've already got things going there.
Yeah, I would leave the window up. Leave your Bold Trail window up and then go into transaction desk in another window and then look at that if you're looking for verbiage.
See how Candy's got like 30 tabs open across the top?
I got that.
Yeah, that's the way mine works all the time.
That
Yeah.
way she can just click from one to the other and not have to close things and reopen things. It's all there, just grab the other.
Right.
I got that right now going on. No, this is hers.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. But I wanted you to know that is there if you ever needed it.
Yeah, that's good information. I never knew that. Like, man, this is all making sense. More and more we meet and have the meetings, it is all making sense.
So there's all kinds of little, let's see. Yeah, little stuff that if you don't know about it, you can utilize it.
Termite.
Okay, let me see. Termite. All right, here we go. Termites. A guarantee provided by the seller, or a seller agrees to treat or repair termite damage. Provide a new report to the buyer. So depending upon what your clients want you to do, you've got a few options there. And see, look, I mean, it really gets to detail, gets into detail.
Yeah, these steps were all written by an
Lawyers.
attorney.
I
So
love
it's
it.
solid.
Yeah.
Yes. I love this. Oh my God.
It's helpful.
So did this help you or just off
To be
of
honest,
experience?
I probably didn't even know about this until about a
Okay.
year ago, and Wendy found them.
So you just went by experience of what your clients have been going with other people.
I would just go
So what would you
by
say?
what my clients, and I've always been pretty good at making up something that sounds smart. I mean,
that's
Candy
good.
is a word guru, so
That's good.
so
she's the Scrabble champion.
Okay. But see now, man, the way she covered everything in that amendment.
well, that's just kind of been, experience
Yeah.
says I've had a situation where they waited till the last minute to do repair, so I'm not gonna let that happen again.
Yeah.
Or I've experienced where they fixed it and it looked awful. I'm not gonna let that happen again.
Yeah.
So experience has created additional restrictions on what I want them to do, or ways I want it done. So that's part of what I want to give you is my years of experience has said address all this stuff up front and you don't have to deal with it later.
Yes.
So
And that's what I like to be. I'd rather be proactive than to get to the end of it and it's like, oh my God. I can't. Yeah, like why didn't I think of that?
Right,
And
right,
it could be
because
something
there's
so small.
there is a lot, and I'm not saying I don't make mistakes. I
Oh,
still
no.
make mistakes,
We all
and I still second guess. I should have done this. I should have done that.
And a point to that, Jeff Bragg's inspections, he warranties that and provides an insurance for us. So if something is missed, you can fall back on that insurance that he provides. Whether it be his mistake or ours, we're all protected in it. So like when Obi's inspection, had she used him,
It's additional protection, just additional protection.
Let me ask you, are y'all at liberty to talk about OV's situation? Because I'm just trying to understand what happened.
I remember they were supposed to repair something on the window seals and the roof.
The roof was leaking, and they just had a handyman that was doing their repairs. So instead of
well, he said the agent said he was a licensed roofer. It was the listing agent's person,
but he wasn't.
His license
had expired. So they
botched it.
Well, he didn't do a good job. Number one, he wasn't licensed. Number two. And then he basically said, I'm done. I'm not doing anything else there. I'm finished.
And then two, the buyer didn't go out.
The buyer didn't want to take off work to go look at the repair, to check it. And he was a difficult buyer completely altogether to begin with.
So what, when they got to the closing table, was that the discovery?
No, it was after closing.
Oh.
Yes.
After closing.
So that's why it turned into such a
big mess.
thing.
Big mess.
Because if it had happened before closing, we could have just delayed closing until they got it right. But
it was after, and then he found lots of other things that the inspector did not find.
So, moving forward, like Bragg's, had that been Bragg's in that same situation,
that insurance would have just covered it.
So that insurance would have went and repaired.
It would have covered whatever the inspection.
Well, let me go back. If he had sued us, it would have paid for that.
Right, but it didn't go that far.
It didn't go that far because he did talk to an attorney, but they said he didn't have a case because he didn't do his job by going and looking at it.
Exactly, before he set to close
Right.
and sign on the dotted line.
Exactly.
And he was supposed to make
he
sure.
should have looked at it